All right. We got Josh. How you doing?
I'm doing good today.
All right. Let's just start off from the beginning. Where are you from originally?
From South Bend, Indiana, born and raised.
Okay. How was your childhood growing up?
It was a little rough, but whose isn't. Grew up, both my parents, mom went away for a couple years when I got older. But for the most part, I had both my parents there.
Okay. So you and your dad and stuff, y'all all have a good relationship as well.
Me and my dad, we got like a touchy relationship, but still my dad at the end of the day. My mom, love her to death. That's my rock.
Okay. You didn't have anything traumatic happen growing up, as a child or teenager?
Nah, my childhood, teenage years, pretty. I mean, they were rough sometimes, but still made it through. Nothing crazy. Still graduated, made it out. Nothing too crazy.
Okay. Well, you actually had something that did happen to you that was traumatic. It was in 21, correct?
Yes, sir. 2021.
Okay. So I remember hearing about this at the time. It kind of hit close to home, but I'm gonna let you tell the story. Kind of walk me through that day. Like, how was it for you when you woke up and stuff? Was everything normal, or was something weird?
The day was June 14th. I remember it was just a normal Sunday. I had worked that Sunday. I remember like being at work, and my friend had he told me he was having a get together after I got off. He asked me to stop by. I remember I don't know, I went home afterwards, and I just remember this feeling not to go. Just in the back of my mind, I had that feeling just telling me, stay home. Even my cousin who stayed with me at the time, he just was he told me why don't you just stay here for the night, It was getting late anyways. I think it was 11 or 12 by the time I ended up leaving and going over there. So
Okay, you ultimately did decide to go.
Yeah.
When you got there, how many people was at the house?
How many people? It was me, my friend Tyree. It was his house. His girl stayed there, and I think he had his 2 kids there at the time. His little brother, my friend Ashati, and a mutual friend of ours named Kyle.
Okay, and kind of walk us through when you got there. How was that for you?
I mean, it was just a normal experience, drinking, chilling. Everybody was just having a good time. Nothing crazy, It was just a normal Sunday, I didn't think anything of it, anything out of the ordinary.
All right, and ultimately something did end up happening. Kind of walk us through step by step, like what happened.
So, I guess before the incident happened, I remember us leaving. I think we went to Burger King to go get food, probably an hour before. So I remember us coming back. It was a movie or something they had put on, and I remember just I ate. I went and sat down. I dozed off in a chair. And from what I remember before, I dozed off. I was in a recliner. My friend Ashati was next to me. Our friend, the dude Kyle was in the corner. His little brother Dom, Tyree, whose house it was, his little brother Dom was right next to him. I remember Tyree had just took his son into the room to lay him down.
And what time? About what time was it?
I mean, this was probably it was late. It's probably 2, 3 in the morning. Honestly, at this point, it was pretty late. So I remember that's why he went and took his son into the room to put him to sleep. And I remember his girl was already in there, so he was putting his kids to sleep. I remember watching him take his son into the room. I dozed off a little bit, and I just was awoken to a sharp pain in my leg. I remember looking down and realizing I had been shot. I've been I don't know, I've heard gunshots before. I remember when I was younger, we weren't the drive-by wasn't for us, but I remember someone in our in our neighborhood had got shot at, and the shot had hit our house, and my mom's car got hit before. So hearing gunshots wasn't anything new to me. I know, hit the floor, get out the way. But I remember getting up, I ran off to his kitchen. So it was to the left of me. I remember just like looking back and I see my friend Ashanti. She was like standing up. Well, she was like trying to stand up out the chair and like I saw like she was trying to move, but she couldn't. And like I don't know, man. Just it was crazy. Like going through my mind, like I couldn't see anybody die. I couldn't live with like knowing the fact that I probably could have had the chance to save her, and like I would just live with the image in my mind of just like her like being shot and dying. Like I couldn't do that. So against my better judgment, I ran back in there into the room, and I ended up pushing her down. Like I pushed her to where she like I think she fell like towards their bathroom. I tried to like push her out of the line of fire, and then I made it back into the kitchen, and that's when I collapsed. I pretty much remember like I don't know, there was a whole lot of like glass breaking and yelling and screaming, and I don't know. It was like it's still so surreal. Like I remember like me like bleeding out and like I don't know. I just remember like don't panic going through my mind. Like when you get shot, just don't panic. Try and slow your breathing. But in that moment, when you think you're about to die, there's not really, much that could comfort you. I remember, the ambulance coming. They wheeled me into the ambulance, and I remember like getting in there.
Do you have like a sense of time, like like how long it's lasting? Because I always hear that.
I think yeah, it kind of like I don't know. It was so surreal even to this point, because like when you initially get shot, you're just in that sense of shock. So I don't know. It's like your adrenaline is just rushing. So I would say it's probably like 3:30ish, 3:40ish, because I think I made it to the hospital around like 4 o'clock. It's ultimately like when I think I got into surgery. But I remember like them wheeling me into the ambulance. I remember asking the EMT, like how many times I got shot. And he's like 1 GSW, 2 GSW, 3 GSW is gunshot wound. So I think he ultimately got up to like 9, and that's when I just told him, I didn't want to hear it anymore. I remember them taking me into the surgery, and there was like I've never seen like that many doctors in my life. Probably like 8 or 9 doctors around me. I remember them, putting me to sleep. I think ultimately I woke up. So I got shot on June 14th. I think I went in surgery around like 4 in the morning. I didn't wake up till like 7 the next day. Ultimately, when I woke up, that's when they told me I was shot like 15 times. I got shot in my right leg 9 times, my left leg 4 times, and in my stomach twice. I thought they were honestly gonna like cut my leg off. I thought I was gonna just have one leg for the rest of my life, because I remember I didn't have feeling for like my right leg for like 3 weeks, I think. So even still now, like I have limited mobility. I got nerve damage in it, probably for the rest of my life. I remember waking up. I think I had two tubes in me. I had a immobilizer on my left leg, which pretty much like it's like from your calf down, you can't move your leg. And then my right leg, I just had a cast on it. Yeah, it's pretty surreal. I couldn't walk ultimately I think it took me like 5-6 months to relearn how to walk. I ended up having another tube put into my right side. I think I had 2 tubes in me for about 1.5 years, because like where I got hit, it ended up getting infected. So it was like a cyst in there. They ended up having to like put a tube in me just to drain it. That was real crazy. Yeah, man.
Do you think you suffer from PTSD from the incident?
For sure. Probably for like the first, even still now, honestly. But honestly, for like the first 3 months, every night I would go to sleep. I would have dreams of like either me being shot or like me either like running from gunfire or like me being in the house and the house getting shot up. Like it was just no matter what, for like 3-4 months, I was getting shot every night in my dreams, and like there was nothing. I know they had me on like antidepressants and stuff like that, but I definitely suffer from PTSD. Like it's so surreal, honestly. Like I don't know, bro. Damn, I don't know.
So, So you said how long did it take you to recover? 6 months.
It took me 6 months to relearn how to walk. Ultimately, I think my recovery was probably like a year and a half. Because even when I relearned how to walk, I still had to have like these two tubes in my right side, basically to like, I guess, help with the cyst that was in me from me being shot. I still have a bullet in me, like floating around in there still to this day. So
You gotta get that checked out every once in a while, or
oh, nah, bro. I mean, they said maybe eventually it'll work its way out, but I don't think the one in my stomach will. It's probably in there forever, man. They I know they had to cut me. I ended up having like 50 staples in my stomach, like from my groin to like to my chest area. Cause I know they did ended up getting one of the bullets out of my stomach, but yeah, other one's probably stuck in there forever, man.
okay. And for the people who did it, do you have like resentment towards them, or is it one of them things to where like is time has healed you basically to where you kind of don't care about them?
I mean, I did have a lot of hate in me at first, but like I guess the more I've been going to like therapy and counseling, it's helped me sort of like, I don't know, like being mad is not gonna do anything for you. Being angry, you can't like harp on the past. I guess like I'm getting to the point where it's like I'm trying to get over it. I guess like being mad is not gonna do nothing for me. Being angry is not gonna do nothing for me. I gotta get to the point where I gotta just move on with my life. Thank God, I guess that I'm not crippled. I can still walk by the grace of God. Getting shot 15 times, who would think? But
Do you know what calibers you were shot with?
I think they put a 4.5 on my leg. I know there were Draco rounds at the scene, and I think there was like an M16 as well. I know the cops said there could have been like 2 or 3 different shooters. They honestly don't know. There were so many. I think ultimately the house was shot up like 130 times. Like it was crazy. But yeah, still to this day, no leads, nothing.
Is it an open case or did they kind of close it?
Yeah, still. I mean, it'll still be considered open, I think, until, it's an attempted murder. I think it'll be open forever. That
So
I know of.
out of everybody in the house, it was just 2 of you that was shot?
Yeah, I was shot 15 times. My friend Ashanti, who I saved, she was shot 12 times. Yeah. She's doing a lot better now, too, as well. But, we still, you can't really, like, get over that, There's still, like, that memory in the back of your mind.
So you still dream about it and stuff now?
Yeah, I mean, it's better than what it was, but I definitely still have times where I won't go to sleep till like 5, 6 in the morning, There'll be days where I won't even go to sleep at all. Cause, especially like when it gets close to like the anniversary date of when I got shot, or even like if I might hear a gunshot or something like 4th of July, for instance, like stuff like that, New Year's Eve, days like that, I can't go to sleep.
Okay. So besides the physical aspect of it, do you feel like you changed mentally from that?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like before I was more like, I guess I didn't really care for guns. I always used to think, like nothing would ever happen to me. Cause like, I don't know, I never really thought like I put myself in those situations to like for something like that to happen for me. But I guess I don't know. I was thinking like a kid, I guess, It's definitely made me become more like, I guess, of a gun advocate. I definitely went out and bought guns after that. I definitely am an advocate for self-defense now. I don't know, just always be ready, so you don't gotta get ready.
Yeah, I just remember when it happened, it just like, we grew up together. So it's like when I heard that you got shot, I was just like, man, if it could happen to him,
For
then it could
sure.
happen to me, anybody. And it was just messed up that like something so random,
Yeah.
like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, just
Literally.
randomly been woken up to bullets.
Literally.
And yeah, man, I'm just happy you made it through. You healthy, you here, so just gotta prosper now. I mean, you're here for a reason. You got shot 15 times and survived, and those are large calibers.
Yeah.
So it's not like you were shot with something small.
Like a
so
2-2 or something. Even then, that I know people that were shot with like one time or something like that.
Like shot in the leg or something.
Literally.
Died. So you said how many times was Ashanti shot?
I think 12, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow. Yeah, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, the fact that I was shot 15 and she was shot 12, and like we're both walking, talking.
It was nothing. You guys didn't get hit anywhere else. Like she didn't get hit in the head or anything.
No, by grace of God.
Body.
Yeah, that's why I always like. That was one thing when I was in the hospital, because ultimately I was in the hospital for like a month and a half. But when I was in there, they had me like, I don't know if he was like a counselor, but he just used to always come and tell me like, God saved you for a reason. Find your purpose. Like he said, I don't care like how long it takes you. Of course, there will be some downtime for me getting shot, but he was basically like, you gotta get back up on your feet eventually. Don't let this like be the end of your story. If anything, make this the beginning. Like take this and run with it. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on and telling your story. Like I said, I'm just happy you made it out of that alive and you can walk. You got all your facial features and stuff. You good, so
Sure.
definitely
right.
happy.
Both arms, both legs.
Yeah, definitely happy for you, bro. Appreciate you coming through.
Definitely appreciate you having me.